This is the second video of the train project made on onshape. We've started working on it already, and we've made the basic outline shape of our train. So it's really nice to be able to do that. What we're going to do is we're going to try and shape the back part of it now. So if we look at our the drawings, right, you can see that has an arc there. So it's kind of like a circle, right? And so what we're going to do is we're going to put a sketch on there. And it's really important. We use points a lot to make sure that we're very precise. And we always dimension those points. So the middle of this, because it's 2 inches wide, is 1 inch. And then from the point to there, let's look. So you see that's where we want it to be because that's that radius that it told us. So that's 0.375 from the bottom. Notice how that line goes to the bottom to that point is 0.375. So 0.375. Okay. And then we make a circle and we make sure it snaps in there, right? And we just kind of make the circle. And then we go back and we dimension it. And that is 2.35, right? But it tells you R. R means radius. So we want diameter. So 2.35 times 2, and you can do it all in there. Gives us that. Okay, and what we're going to do is we want to keep all this stuff. There's a couple ways to do this, but I'm going to do it just by kind of clicking around, right? And we can scroll out doing that and make sure you have everything covered. But I want to, and if we don't want this line anymore, you just press escape on your keyboard. And then I'm going to trim away what I don't want. So I'm going to cut out all this stuff, right? So I made that basic outline, and I made sure that the basic outline was larger than it. And then we're going to extrude, and this time we're going to press remove. Removing is cutting out, and make sure you click everything. A lot of students will just click on the outside, and then nothing will happen when you extrude it. Okay, but you need to click on both of them. And I always like to kind of verify. Is it going the right direction? Okay, great. And then I don't really remember how big it should be, but if I type in 2, 2 seems to be larger than what I really need, which is fine. And now I just cut that off, right? So I've basically shaped that spot. The other part on here, on the back especially, is this little circle. The circle is the exact same spot as the circle we just made. So I'm going to put a sketch on the back of this again. Okay. And I like to orient it, where I'm used to. And we'll put a point here. And we're going to dimension it. And, the whole shape is 2. So I know that right in the middle is 1. We learned last time 0.375 is the height. It's really important to remember how to find those heights and the dimensions. Many students have a really hard time with that. And there's a circle there. And we just make the circle, press dimension, pull that out, right? And I don't remember how big the circle is, but see how there's a circle with a line through it? That means diameter, right? If it was R, that's radius, okay? So that's 0.25. Right, and I'm going to finish that. I'm going to extrude it, that little part. And again, I'm going to check it. Now this time it's going the opposite direction. You need to press remove because we're taking that away. And I'm going to look, see there's an arrow pointing down, 0.5. So let's dimension it, 0.5. All right. Oops. So I press finish sketch there. Now the next part is that little side panel. It's kind of cut out like a circle, right? Now there's no real dimensions up here, but there are over here. So let's make it. It looks like a circle to me. And again, it tells you the center. So that's great. We'll put a sketch over there, right? Just like every other time, you put a point and then you dimension it, right? So from here to there, and let's see how far that is. If I look, that's what I care about, right? So I'm going to go up. So from the back, right, to that point is 0.25. And that's what I did. From here, this line to there is 0.25. And I'll dimension the height. I unselected it again. I did that last time. I don't remember that, so let's look back. Okay, that's the circle. That's the center. I'm going to go down. See how that goes from the bottom to the point, right? And that's 1.75. 1.775. Now I'll put my circle there. I randomly put it, there's not a real rhyme or reason. Okay, and now let's look again. So that says a radius of 5. So anytime you use a circle, you always have to make it diameter. So 0.5 times 2, or you could just put 1, that'd be fine too. All right. But if you look at it, it's flat, right? So what I'm going to do is right at the top, I'm going to put a line there. I'm trying to make sure that it's all straight, right? And this one's not really straight. So I'm going to click on it and press delete. This looks better, right? It looks straighter. If you want to make it, you can use one of those constraints that we learned about somewhere over here. And I'm going to trim away what we don't want. Oops. Trimmed away the whole line, which is fine. I could just put that line back in. I'm still going to go back and trim this part away. Okay? And over here, it doesn't matter that we have more. That's fine. We're still just going to extrude. And I like to really make sure I do everything. Like I know you could just press the 1, you'd be good. Press remove, because we're taking away. And it's great. See how it's going the direction we want? And I know that the whole distance is 2. If you press 2 and then press tab, it will show you how far. You could also do 3 in tab. If it goes past it, that's fine too, because you're cutting away. It's not hurting anything, right? So we've done a lot of the basic shape of this train. The last part I'm going to do on this video is I'm going to make these holes, and the holes are on both sides. So I'm going to put the holes there. I'm going to dimension them. So I know there's 2. So there's a hole here and a hole there, right? If you look from the bottom to the hole, that height is 0.5 for both of those. So 0.5. 0.5. Right? And the other thing is, let's look, okay, it's 1 inch from the back, right? And it's 4.5 inches from the back for that one. So we'll do that. That's 4.5. that's 1 inch. Okay, and we'll do the exact same thing. Yeah, we'll do the exact same thing on the other side. Point. And you're gonna, even if you put them right on there, it's always good to really just double check, because what ends up happening all the time is that students don't, that's a little bit off. And does that make a difference? Yeah, it will make a difference. It doesn't like me. I don't know why. There it goes. 0.5. Sometimes you just have to click around, and that's fine, right? You just click. That one's great. Okay. And we'll start this with our next video.